wearing a jumper with my ring light on, probably not the best idea, but sacrifices you make for good lighting, am I right? This is my first time filming a video in my new setup at my mum's, so let me know what you guys think. I absolutely love it so much. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are all well and I hope that you had a great Christmas and a great New Year's. So this week's video is a little bit of a different video to ones that I usually film. Now if you guys have been following me on Instagram, then you would have seen that I set myself a challenge for 2020 to read 20 books, and I can successfully say that I read those 20 books. I think I actually probably read like 21 or 22, but what I thought I would do is kind of start a little tradition on my channel where I sit and talk to you guys at the end of every year of like my favourite books that I've read that year, and I thought this would be a really great video for you guys to maybe get some book suggestions, and if you're nosy like me and you just want to know what people have been reading, then I thought this video would be super fun. So originally I was gonna do 10 books, but I think I've got 12 books, so let's just get into the video. So one of the books that I absolutely loved reading this year, which I don't actually have a physical copy on because it's on my Kindle, is To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm pretty sure most of you guys would know what that book is. It's a very good book, and it's, you know, one of those books that's quite famous and quite popular, and I never actually read it, and this year I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read it. So I read it and I absolutely loved it. It is like literally one of my favourite books, and I will continue to reread it so much, and all of these books that I talk about will definitely be things that I keep on my bookshelf and like pick up from time to time. I don't have one favourite book from this year because it's too difficult to do that, but that one was definitely up there. Another book that I love this year is The Things We Left Unsaid by Emma Kennedy. Now this book is so good. This was one of my mum's books and I saw it on the bookshelf and thought, oh my gosh, that looks like such a good book, and I picked it up and I was hooked. I literally read this probably in like a week or so, and it's basically about a mother and her daughter and how they kind of rekindle their relationship, and kind of secrets are revealed and everything. I'm not going to say too much information because obviously I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but this book was so good. You'll be able to tell quickly from the books I talk about in this video the kind of books that I like, but this book was really good and I would definitely really recommend it. Another book that I absolutely love this year, and if I had to pick a favourite, this would definitely be up there, is One Day by David Nicholls. I got this on my 18th birthday from my sister and I absolutely love this book. It was adapted into a movie, I believe, but I haven't actually seen it, and I've heard that it's not as good as the book, so I kind of don't want to watch it. But this book, oh my gosh guys, if you're looking for a book that's kind of about romance, people coming back together and being reunited in life and stuff, then this book is definitely one that I would recommend. It follows two characters, Emma and Dexter, on one day every single year, so like the same day every single year, and kind of covers over 20 years of their life and kind of their relationship and stuff like that. It's really hard to explain, but this book, guys, go get it if you're wanting to read it. Another book I read this year which I absolutely loved is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This was adapted to a TV show at the beginning of the year, and I watched that show, and then afterwards I was like, I have to read the book, and then I bought the book and I absolutely loved the book so much. So obviously if you guys know the TV show then you kind of know the storyline, but it's about Connell and Marianne who are from Ireland, and it's kind of about them. It's similar to One Day in a way, where it's kind of about their relationship and how they kind of life changes and through going to university and stuff like that. But this book is so good, and I would definitely recommend it if you haven't already read it. I feel like a lot of people would have read it, but it was just so good. Another one of my favourite books I read this year, which was one that I borrowed from my mum, is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I think that's how you say her name. So this book is such a good book. This was actually adapted into a TV show, which I think is on Amazon Prime, and I haven't read it yet, but this is so good. If you like a bit of thrillery, romancy, kind of a vibe, that's definitely stuff that I really enjoy, and this book is really good. It basically follows two different families, and then it kind of follows like a mystery and stuff like that, and it is so good. Again, this one I read through so quickly because it was just so gripping, and I love gripping books. I'm not a fan of slow burners, but this one just, you know, hooked me, and I read it through so quickly, and I would definitely really recommend that you guys read this book if you haven't already. Another book that I absolutely loved this year, like when I say I loved this book so much, I genuinely did, and that is The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. This book is one of the ones that kind of blew up this year. Everyone loved it, and I heard so many good things about it, and I picked it up, and when I say I read this through so quickly, I literally finished this book in like a week. It was just so good, and I literally just couldn't stop reading it. It's basically about this girl called Tiffy who is looking to find somewhere to live after she breaks up with her boyfriend and has to move out of their flat. And then she basically does a flat share with this guy called Leon, who's a doctor on night shift, and they basically kind of never see each other, and they share the same room and everything like that. And it's kind of about their relationship and when they meet each other properly and everything like that. Like, it's just so good, and it's like such a great romance book, and it's funny as well. I love a good like comedy book. This is such a good book. Another book that I read this year, which I really recommend, is The Hate You Give. This book has been around for years. I actually watched the movie of it, and I absolutely loved the movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to pick up the book and buy it. So Angie Thomas wrote this book, and if you guys don't know about this book, then I would definitely really recommend that you read it and you learn from it. And this book, especially with everything that happened this year with the Black Lives Matter movement, is just so important to read and understand, and it's so important to educate yourself on racial inequality and experiences of people. And although this book isn't necessarily like an autobiography, it is inspired by a lot of true stories that have happened to people. It's about a girl called Star. She is the witness to her best friend getting shot by the police, and it kind of covers that whole story and the kind of whole journey. And again, I read this through really quickly, and it just, like, it's just so gripping, and to know that this is something that people experience and so terrible. This book is amazing, and I would really recommend it. Another book I absolutely loved was All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This book, oh my gosh, if you want to cry, read this book because it really does make you cry. I loved all the John Green books when I was younger, so I absolutely love this author. I read another one of her books this year as well, which I'll talk about next, but this book was so good. It's basically about Theodore Finch and Violet Markey. It covers a lot about mental health and depression, so obviously, like, trigger warning, if you are wanting to read this book and that's a sensitive subject for you, then I would be careful. However, this book was just so well written, and I literally couldn't put it down. And like I said, all these books I'm going to be rereading at some point, but I absolutely love this book so much. Like I said, I love Jennifer Niven as a writer, and another book of hers I absolutely loved this year was Holding Up the Universe. Now, this book, again, like All the Bright Places, this book will get you in your feelings. It basically covers the story of Libby and Jack, and how they meet each other and everything like that. And yeah, it's just a very poignant book as well, and I did go through this very quickly again. Another author that I absolutely loved her books this year is Nicola Yon, I think is how you pronounce it. So one of the books that I read of hers is Everything Everything, and again, this was adapted into a movie, and may I just say, this book will make you cry. It is the most heart-wrenching book ever. It is about Maddie, who is essentially allergic to the world. She can't leave the confines of her room, and then this guy named Ollie moves in next door, and then their relationship kind of unfolds, and she basically, you know, ends up taking risks. And I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but this book is so good. I really liked the way it was written as well. It kind of is written in almost like a little bit of like a diary way, and then it has little things in it. These pages, for example, there's like normal like text down the side, and then this side is like an email conversation and stuff like that. And I absolutely loved the style of the book, and again, it was just so gripping. Also by Nicola Yoon, I read The Sun Is Also a Star, and again, I absolutely loved this book. Now, this book is about Natasha and Daniel, and it's pretty crazy because the whole book covers like 2 days of their lives, or like 1 day or something like that. And it's about how they meet and how their paths come intertwined. They're two very different people and everything like that, and it is just so cool. Again, I was so hooked on this. I did also watch the movie of this, and then I was like, I have to read the book. I absolutely loved it so much, and it got me emotional, and I really like the way that it's written. Each chapter kind of fluctuated, so one chapter is written from Natasha's perspective, and then another chapter would be written from Daniel's perspective, and then they also had within it like third person narratives of like, this is their family history and stuff, and it was a really, really interesting read, and again, a really gripping book that I got through quickly this year. And the final book that I loved this year that I will be recommending to you guys is I'd Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I read this book within like the last couple weeks of December, and I absolutely loved it. I think I did find it a bit difficult to get into at first. It just didn't grip me at first. It's definitely more of a slow burner, but by the end of it I was like so hooked to it, and I'd really recommend it. It's basically about Jude and Noah, who were twins, and they were close until basically this tragedy happens, and I'm not going to say what that is because obviously you need to read the book, but it kind of goes over their relationship throughout their ages, and it just has a really, really like beautiful storyline of how you can grow apart from somebody and then you can come back together, and you know, the complications of love and everything like that. And I love this book so much, and I would definitely really, really recommend this book. So that is it for my favourite books of 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe this gave you guys a few suggestions of some books to get yourself reading in 2021. If you guys have any suggestions of any good books that I could read this year, then please do let me know. I've set myself a task of reading 30 books this year, so fingers crossed we'll be able to hit it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up because it really does help me out, and leave a comment letting me know any videos you guys want to see coming up in the next year, as well as your book suggestions, and we can kind of suggest some books to each other in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel if you are new. It would mean a lot to have you guys here on the channel and in the family, and I would love to be able to continue growing my channel. We hit 1,000 subscribers this year, and it would be great to get to 2,000. And also click the bell so you can get notified every time I upload. I upload at 7 PM every Tuesday, so please, please, please get subscribed. Also follow me on all my social media. Instagram, Twitter and TikTok are in the description box below. On Instagram I actually have a book highlight story where I post all of the books that I've been reading over the year and kind of my thoughts of them and whether I'd recommend them and stuff. So definitely go follow me if you want to see some book content. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe and staying positive, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. I forgot to get a thumbnail, so now we're back.